I thought that, when they take the cast off, it's it, you're healed. You just go back to being a beast. But it's not how it works. There's a long road after an injury like that.
Matt Aguilar here from ComicBook.com, and today I have the esteemed pleasure of speaking to Wow Women of Wrestling star The Beast. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, doing good. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us here. You've been one of the preeminent stars in WoW for some time, and that's why kind of going back a little bit. It was you were WoW champion. And then, unfortunately, injuries happen, obviously. And you had one that you had to deal with for a while. And then you came back and hit the ground running. But, just in that kind of time frame, did did that because it was just a little bit of a longer injury recovery, did that change at all, like how you look at things as far as like wrestling, and did you come back with any kind of different mentality or anything, or did that affect you in any kind of way when you came back?
It does affect you because the way I train, the way I wrestle, is I try to be prepared for everything. When I watch wrestling, it's not for entertainment anymore. I watch wrestling to study my opponents, to study wrestling. I want to be able to know every single move someone can do and three ways to get into it and three ways to get out of it, and just to make sure I'm so prepared. And something like a break. Or such an injury like that, you can't prepare for that. That comes out of the blue. And I think things like that show you who you really are. Like, Mike Tyson said, everyone is prepared for a fight until they get punched in the mouth, right? And so I got punched in the mouth pretty hard. And yeah, so you sit and you reevaluate how you do things. And I couldn't come back to training the way I wanted to, and as hard as I wanted to. I thought that, when they take the cast off, it's it, you're healed. You just go back to being a beast. But it's not how it works. There's a long road after an injury like that. There's physical therapy. There's rebuilding strength, rebuilding muscle, pain tolerance. And so when I came back to wrestling after the injury, I didn't want to come back fearful, if that makes any sense. Some people have an
Yeah.
injury and then they're afraid after that. To me, fear is it's not real. It's not a real thing. It's a thing we make up here and then we let it take over. And so when I came back to wrestling, I wanted to make sure that I was bigger and better and stronger, not only physically, but mentally. And so I really did. I pushed myself harder than maybe my doctors may have wanted me to. Um, but I wouldn't be the beast if I didn't?
Right. Well, and you came back and you got in the ring, and you didn't see any of that fear, right? So that's it's great. I know that it's one of those things. You never lost the title. We see reigns end all the time, but did that also kind of, was there a little bit of a chip on the shoulder when you came back, because you never, no one beat you to get that title, even though you've had matches since then for the title. It's still like it was really never not yours. You know what I mean? I don't know. Is that how it feels?
No, that's exactly how I feel. I'm fighting for something that's already mine. Imagine coming home and someone sitting on your couch, and now you have to fight for your home. It's ridiculous. I feel right now she's just holding something that's mine. She's playing pretend, and that's okay. I know who the real champ is. I know who the biggest and baddest at WoW is. And if I have to break a few backs along the way to reprove my point, to solidify who I am, then so be it. It's just unfortunate for them, not me.
Yeah. And then that's always where, the kind of debate of like, do you do an interim, title? Do you do, just do you vacate as in here? Would you have preferred to have kind of had that interim title, and then like whenever you were ready to go, you guys would clash and then that would be decided who was the title? Or do you kind of, are you okay with kind of how it worked out and you're just going to end up putting that back on your shoulder at some point?
No, I'm okay with how it turned out because first and foremost, I'm a fighting champion. And if circumstances dictate that I can't fight, then that's fine. That's why I handed over the title gracefully. I didn't, I could have held on to it. I could have, just kept myself at top of the line. But at the end of the day, I know who I am. I know what I bring. And I have no fear that my title will be back on my shoulder.
Now, of course, the title does, Maverick is holding the title, but right
Holding,
now you're,
holding. You said the
yeah,
proper
yeah,
words.
holding, right? But your reign still sits, incredibly high as far as number of days, like that record's still there, right? But I know there's kind of we're starting, it's still early in 2024. I still have probably I keep saying 2023 still to this point. So like we're still early, right? I also need to get my act together, but we're still early. So, for you, what is the vision for, the next few months? What are those steps that you're kind of taking to complete whatever it is on that bucket list? I would imagine, recapturing that title is pretty high. But what is that thing for you, and how are you going to kind of set about doing it?
It's just like you said, it's recapturing my title. It's proving to everyone else who may have forgotten who I really am. My priorities is what they've always been. They haven't changed since day one. Is I try to be better than I was yesterday. I already believe in my heart, in my head, that I'm better than everyone else at WoW, and it's not cocky. It's just I'm assured of myself. If that makes any sense, I'm confident in myself. If that makes any sense, and if someone wants to try to come in and take what's mine or think they can beat me, then so be it. Come and try. But you can't beat someone who never sits down, who never settles, who never gives up. So my goal is always just to be better than I was yesterday, to keep pushing harder than I did the day before. I'm sure you see it in what you do. Like you always want to just be better and better and always have the best information or just be the best you can be. And if I think if we all strive for that, just not being just good enough or just setting the bar so low that if we just keep pushing that bar up a little bit further than we can reach, you'd be surprised at how far, you know what I'm saying? How far you can get.
No, absolutely. And there's a right now it's a great time in WoW. It's a stacked roster. We keep bringing in new talent. It feels like every single week. And we've got some. There's also been kind of this. It's been steady. It's like it feels like every couple of weeks there's like a new face. There's someone else kind of shaking things up. Has anyone kind of caught your interest as far as maybe a possible just because you're going after the WoW Championship doesn't mean you can't go after, the tag titles. Doesn't mean you can't like, there's always other gold, right, to get. Has anyone caught your eye as far as like maybe that's someone I could team up with down the line?
We all team up with, oh, Beast doesn't team up with anyone. That I'm trying to wrap my head around what you just said. Oh, that's difficult for me. No, no. Don't get me wrong. The roster, this amazing group of women, so much talent, so much athleticism, and I give every last one of them all the credit in the world. But I will not be teaming up with anyone. I think I've tried that once before, and as we all know, it didn't go so well for me. So I'll stay solo. I'll just do what the beast does. I'll keep my laser focus on my title and being the best me, and we'll let those other ladies worry about their teams.
It is a solo show. I respect it.
Not a team sport.
Oh my God. I almost, you know what's crazy? I almost rolled my eyes at my own question. That's
Thank you. Okay, as long as we're on the same. Like I had to get my Google Translate out. Team. It almost hurt to say it. Now I feel bilingual now. Thank
oh
you
my
for that.
God. Obviously too, we're talking during Black History Month. And it's always something that, for me, I'm Hispanic, and it's interesting trying to I've got a 4-year-old, and so I'm, trying to like slowly introduce things about, Spanish culture and family dynamics, and that's obviously so important during Black History Month as well. And it's a time of celebration, right? Reflection and all those things. What is the most important thing that you always want to highlight during this time, both in a personal sense and also, what you do in the ring?
Um, I think it's just honestly just strength, resilience, and visibility. There's a lot of things I've done that are kind of out of the box. I was a competitive bodybuilder. I went through fire. I have a black belt, and a lot of those things you don't sometimes see people of color as often as you would like to. And so I think to have to be visible as as a Hispanic person and as a black woman is you have to show younger people, younger children, and sometimes adults that, we can take up these spaces. It's okay for us to be firefighters. It's okay for us to be in martial arts. It's okay for us to be astronauts, whatever, wrestlers, whatever we want to be. I hadn't seen a firefighter who looked like me until I went through the fire academy, if that makes any sense. And that's insane. How do we teach our children that they can be anything they want to be if they don't see themselves in that role? So I
A-
think it's for me, it's always just
Absolutely.
trying to, yeah, it's always trying to be visible, always trying to be my best, but be out and about.
Yeah, it's so incredibly important, and it's one of those things where I even look at it now with her and the people she's seeing and the colors she's seeing on screen is like, night and day compared to, when I was when I was that
Yes,
age. But then you also are like, it's it's even so much more important now because we're telling them that they can do this and they can see themselves. And so that needs to be reflected on screen as opposed to, me when I was younger. It's like, yes, it was important then too, but I also had like a certain amount of expectation, right? It was more my parents, it was more my mom putting that into me as opposed to like the screen telling me like you can do all this. And but now it's like the combination of the two, and that makes it even more important. That's why WoW, the roster, it's so great to see obviously all the different personas and characters, but it's also just so great to see so much diversity in the roster itself. Whether that be color, size, all style, all the different aspects. And
and
it's something that WoW's been doing for so long. Do you feel like it's kind of ahead of the game in that respect, and it kind of has been?
I think it always has been. Yeah, like right now it's a great time to be a person of color because there is representation everywhere. And it's not just in certain little submarkets, but WoW has been doing that from day one. And not only are the women of WoW from different ethnic backgrounds, they're from different, like you said, they're different, we'll come in all different sizes. And there's different educational backgrounds. We have teachers, we have attorneys, we have these women are real life, these things. And so it's good to see to have a little girl or just someone see, hey, this woman, she is a X, Y, and Z, and I can be those things too. I can be strong. I can be physically strong, mentally strong, emotionally strong. I can be whatever I want to be. And that's what makes me most excited about WoW is just how diverse every aspect of it is. Not just we're just going to make sure we have a certain allotment of, brown people and black people. And no, it's the best talent of people. And we just happen to come in all these different shapes and sizes, which is how the world works, right?
Right. Yeah, it's never about having it's never about like filling the number count. It's always just about looking everywhere and like they're all there. It's just it's just people aren't looking. You know what I mean? That's what it
Yes,
always feels
yes.
like.
Turn over the right rocks and there we all pop out
You're
from.
right, yeah, yeah. It's like I've been here sitting here the whole time, man. Just look my way. And WoW has also made strides over the last, year and a half with, being on so many, being national, being so on so many markets, being more accessible to watch. The YouTube presence and all of those has increased as well. So I know, Jeannie and David are doing big work on that side of things. For you, and the WoW brand, what do you want to see the company and the brand do? Let's say, throughout the year. By the end of the year, you would love to see them kind of achieve this. Is it just more visibility? Is it expanding the actual in-ring product to like, different match types and those kinds of things? What is it for you that you want to see kind of WoW evolve into the next step?
I would love them to continue what they're doing. WoW has a global presence, which is kind of unheard of. It is unheard of, and they're an all-woman production, so that we're the main event, the starting event, and everything in the middle. You don't just wait for the for the women's the girls fight is where the whole show, and I would love to see them and be a part of them just going more global, reaching every little corner and being able to take our live shows straight out into the world. I would personally, and let's speak this into existence, I would love to do a cage match of some sort, some kind of something just brutal, right? These should be just breaking heads in a cage. Don't you see that? Something on fire,
Yes.
ladders, tables, chairs. I don't know. Let's just up the violence level.
No, absolutely. Also, you have a background in fire. Is I mean, just utilize the skills. You know what I mean?
Right? An EMT, I always joke, I can take your life or save your life. Your choice. Your choice.
One thing I love about wrestling is that it's very much the like Venn diagram has it's incredible like how much crosses over with wrestling, right? From look at my background, I'm a huge wrestling fan, but also into like 90,000 other things, and that the worlds cross over a lot more in it these days, and it's amazing to see so much. And we've seen wrestlers pop up on everything. It feels like game shows, TV shows. We've seen WoW start to also make it over. We've seen several people show up on talk shows and game shows and all those things. For the Beast, is there a particular thing outside the ring that you've been kind of wanting to cross over into? I know obviously the focus is all on the title and the ring, but like, hey, this is a whole screen right there that's just like calling.
Well, again, like wrestling is my passion and I just am in love with it. But I would make a great comic book hero. I would make a great action figure. I would make a great, I don't know, big screen action hero. Look at me. I was made for those things. You know what I mean? I was made to be just bigger than life. Just bigger than life. So whatever they bring at me, if they want to put me in a video game, if they want to put me as an action star, I'll step up to the plate. You put me on a construction site and I'm building a house. You just whatever the world brings to me, I'm gonna tackle it head first and do my best.
Yeah, by the way, we need a WoW action figure line like pronto. Oh my God, yes.
We
I
get
why did
into it. Why isn't this not a thing?
Yeah, exactly. And it come with like little accessories of like the real person too. So like, things like they specialize in, like you could have black belt. A
Okay,
little black belt.
I like that. I like that.
So it's nice, yeah. And then like someone like, they would come with the cage and then like you'd have a kendo stick too, but like, you gotta balance it out. But like still, it would be great. There.
Are we are we creating a new thing here?
I think so. I'm
Is
really trying to
anyone
make
listening
up
out
for
there?
the tag team discussion. This is what I'm trying to do.
I forgot we almost weren't friends anymore. I forgot about that.
I know I need to let you go soon. I have greatly enjoyed this. For obviously wrestling there's so many iconic entrances, there's so many iconic themes that we've heard along the way. Do you have what is your all-time favorite wrestling entrance?
Mm. I won't say names because it has been done by different people, but when someone comes out and the fireworks go behind them and the flames and the smoke and they're just enveloped and they walk through that, isn't that the toughest, most awe-inspiring goosebumps, right? There's nothing more powerful than
Yes.
the world bursting into flames around you and you just walk through it.
Yes, I'm a huge fan of doing something that I would never actually do because like walking through smoke, I don't want to walk through smoke. I'd be
Why
like
not?
inhaling. I'd be inhaling it and I would probably like, choke myself. That's probably what would happen. I know me. I have the equilibrium of like a small docile caterpillar that sits. It's
Oh
very
no.
sad. I walk in the doors all the time. Like I just know it. And so like I would try and do it and it would not look cool. But God, it looks awesome when people do it. It's
Right,
a thing.
right.
I
And
get
you
it.
know what? We're gonna get together one day. We're gonna do a little beast training. We're gonna turn your docile caterpillar into a man-eating mamba, and we're gonna get you walking through fire in no time. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm game. I am
Please load
game
on.
somewhere. Somewhere my wife is like, oh my God, yes, please, please, please do that. I sincerely appreciate the time, and I cannot wait to see what's next for you. I cannot wait to one day, hopefully soon, see you holding that title again. And it's gonna be a fun day all around. All the best success.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And mark my words, the Beast will have her championship title back around her waist. It's going to happen come hell or high water.
Amazing. And of course, you can check all of our coverage on WoW right here on comicbook.com. Matthew Aguilar here with comicbook.com. And today I have the pleasure of speaking to WoW Women of Wrestling star Kandi Krush. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're super busy. You just you just left the gym, right? So
I
thank you
just
so
got back
much.
from training all day. Yeah.
Well, and that's it's one of the things that I feel like is synonymous with you is that it's like, it's get to work. It's we're constantly moving, we're moving forward all the time. Even with the what's the CEO?
I'm
Uh
the CEO of Let's Go.
yes.
Yeah, I'm always
Um,
ready to go toe to toe, you know? Yeah, I'm a workhorse, so I definitely believe what you put in is what you get out. I'm the first one in the gym, the last one out. I'm a hard worker. I believe in that through and through.
Well, and that's been, it's been fun to watch in WoW because, you have, you got a couple nicknames now, but one is obviously the gatekeeper, right? And it's
Yeah.
it's been one of those things where, and not in, I know that term sometimes like has a sometimes like a
Negative
negative
connotation.
connotation, but
Yeah.
but it's been in a way of like, hey, we have so much. WoW has so much new talent coming in on a regular interval, and it's like, hey, like there's a lot to love here and a lot to even get distracted by. But like we're gonna show you like what this is about, and I feel like you've shown that like. I'm the person. Like if you need the litmus test, so to speak, you come through me. How has that been working with some of the new talent and everything as they come in and kind of getting them adjusted, if you will?
Yeah, I definitely like to give them a taste right away, right off the bat. I'm not going to take it easy on you, because I believe that everybody has a fair shot. And I put it all on the line when I step in the ring. So, yes, you got to go through me to earn your stripes, so to speak, in WoW. But I think that's because I showed from the very beginning that I will put in the work and I will day in and day out do my best to grow every single day. So, we train a lot at WOW. We take this very seriously. I respect those that came before me and respect the business and the sport as a whole. And so I feel like they need to show that they respect it too, that they respect not only professional wrestling, but our company, that they respect WOW. And so, I'm going to let them know this is how it goes here. We don't take it lightly, and I'm not going to let up at any point.
Right. Yeah. I mean, look, there's amazing rewards and success that can be yours, but you got to put in the work and learn, earn the stripes,
That's
if
right.
you
Earn your
will. And
stripes.
so,
Yeah, I've definitely been putting in the work, and I have a long ways to go myself. But I know that I can just keep working my way to the top. I believe in myself, as they should too. But I will humble you when you get in the ring with me. That's guaranteed. And never underestimate your opponent is what they always say, but especially if your opponent is me. So you go through me, the gatekeeper of WoW. And yes, you know what? Some of those new wrestlers have surprised me, actually. I've gotten caught off guard a few times. Goldie Collins is super strong, one of our new wrestlers. Uh, Gloria Glitter is the toughest opponent I've ever been up against, although she has some years under her belt, but it was, her WoW debut. So, we do things a little different here. So she had to also see how we do it at WoW. And so I have had to work hard in the ring against some of the newbies, if you will. But, at the end of the day, I pulled out my wins and did what I do best, go in there and throw down.
well, and that's one of the things I appreciate about you is that you're always like, look, you gave me a real test. Like you always, you give people the flowers, you give them their props. I'm still gonna win. But it doesn't mean
Point
I
blank
can't like
period.
send you packing with a good attitude. You know what I mean? Like a bolster of confidence.
Yeah, I'll give you credit where credit is due. There's nobody on the WoW roster that is not a great athlete or a great wrestler. everybody should be respected in that ring. And still, I won't underestimate anybody that gets in with me. But like I said, I'll get in with anybody. I'll get in with the beast. It doesn't matter. There's no need to be scared when you're skilled. That's what I say. And I work on my skills every single day. But, the roster is filled with just very strong women. So there is nobody in there that, even if I did take a loss to somebody, which I have recently, there's no shame in that. It's part of it. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. I just go in there and try to win every time, give it everything I have. And, however the cards fall at the end of the match, that's how it is. And I have to keep learning from that and growing from that.
Well, number one, we need to get that scared skilled line on a shirt. That needs to be
Let's
that needs
go.
merch attached like ASAP. And also, you mentioned, right, it's WoW is stacked with talent right now, and over the past few years, has grown so much, both in its presence across the globe, and just the roster itself. And for Women's History Month, I'm celebrating. I have the blessing of having some amazing women in my life. My wonderful wife, my munchkin that I adore, my mom. So like I'm celebrating them and all the things that they do just on a daily basis. For you, who is or are there obviously it might be multiple people, but for you, who are those people that were so important to you and your life and your career that you would like to highlight and spotlight during this
Give
amazing
give
time?
them their flowers. Uh, First of all, I love that you call her your munchkin. That was actually my nickname when I was little too. My sister called me that. I was Munchkin. So I don't let her call me that anymore. But
Right, yeah.
yeah,
That has a shelf life. She will tell me when it is. And at this point, with like how independent she is, it's probably only going to be like 2 years from now.
I love that. She can come on the WoW roster soon.
It
But
won't be long.
yeah, I have had the blessing of being supported by strong women my entire life. My mom, Mama Crush, she was a front runner for Title IX, like getting a lot of women's sports become high school state sports when it was dominated by all male sports. She's coached pretty much every sport. So I always like to tell Coach Campanelli that I was raised by the real coach. Um, Maybe they'll have a match one day. But yeah, my mom, she has always shown me what it is to be strong, to respect yourself and respect people around you on your way up to the top, because you can't make it there alone. And so she instilled everything in me that I have that I take into the ring. And she sacrificed me for me my whole life. So she's one woman she's tough as nails. She had to go up against the boys. She had to also raised me while she was coaching and doing all these things. She was a nationally ranked downhill skier, set to go to the
Wow.
Olympics. But at that time, women had to choose because there was no funding for those sports. So she had to choose. She had enough money to put herself through college or to put herself through the Olympics. She chose college. I don't know
Wow.
if she has any regrets about that, but I respect her decision. She made was best for her in the moment. And that's why also she wanted to help change women's athletics. So we're taken seriously. We're also the main event. We deserve all of the support being highlighted and all the funding and everything to make it happen. She's one. And then another one that, of course, from my storyline is my grandma who gave me my boxing gloves. Um, so we told that backstory of her being there for me and giving everything to me, believing in me, which is also great about WoW because you get to learn everybody's backstory.
Right.
That was mine. And then Selena Majors, our in-house real life superhero. We're blessed to have her there. So she's our creative director and head trainer. And she was, the real deal Selena Majors on WoW before and previously Bambi before that. And she just brings man, she's a hellion. And she brings so much passion. We call her the Kool-Aid man. Sometimes she just comes in and whips you into shape. But she also has instilled in us that this is a sisterhood. So WoW is a sisterhood of support. And although we might not all get along at all times, we always respect each other and uplift each other. We never tear each other down. So it's life lessons we're learning at WoW. And I'm so thankful to have had, those women in my life.
Absolutely. That's yeah, that's amazing. And I am also my grandmother, my nana, was just I adored her, and she left an indelible legacy on us as well. So I totally understand. It's a special relationship. And so that's awesome to hear though. I want to see that match one day. I want to see Mama Crush
And
jump
Coach
in.
Campanelli, yeah, I'm here for it.
Yes.
I'm here for it.
And you brought up too that there's look, not everyone gets along right at various times, but that doesn't mean you have to like go out of your way to tear people down. But what it is interesting, one of the kind of roller coasters that we've seen on WoW lately is, the friendship you had with Princess Aussie, because it was, thick as thieves. And then, the title comes into the picture, and, sometimes like we've seen that, time and time again, of where like, success and things like that can alter some things and bring up problems that were, probably there, anyway, but then like they get highlighted in a different way.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've loved is that you continue to, build up other people while also kind of dealing with that. But is there any, hope for that down the road of either even not even just repairing the relationship, but maybe just bringing some closure to it?
Uh, I have a lot of mixed feelings about this. Obviously, I think that's been very clear. Uh, I I think there are three sides to every story. Um, their side, my side, and maybe the truth. Because we all know I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm emotionally charged. I'm just real and raw and scrappy. So I'm gonna call it like I see it. Is there a chance that I'm seeing it wrong? Maybe. However, I know what I've put into it. I put my whole heart into it. I helped Princess Aussie rise the ranks to the top when she was so frustrated, when she had no fire left. She came into my boxing gym, which is my sanctuary, and I understand that's her roots too. Um, and I helped her get that fire back. So that in itself, I feel like I did my part. She might see it differently. We have had a couple conversations where that was very clear, but like I said, I'm always there to uplift people. And if we can come to a resolution some kind of way, I don't know how, uh, that would be great because I actually don't like drama. I don't like being
Right,
involved in, yeah. But if I feel wrong, I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna say it.
right.
And I don't know. We'll see. Right now, I'm just extremely frustrated and I'm just focusing on myself, honestly. Came to WoW, had to pay my dues and be nice to everybody, which I'll continue to do. I'm not being mean. I'm just
Right.
protecting myself. And that's what I feel like I have to do right now. And Princess Aussie is an incredible wrestler. She deserved to be champion, I will say that. And she deserves probably another shot at the title. But I also deserve a shot at the title. So right now I'm focused on myself, rising the ranks to the top because I don't believe that she put in the time to help me get there in my mind. So a lot of people have opinions on that right now. I can only have my own. That's it.
When does everyone not have opinions?
Everybody's got, you know what they say.
Like seriously, there's way too many opinions online.
Yeah,
But and you brought up, the title, and it feels like, hey, like 2024, big year, WoW continues to expand and we have all this new talent, but like it feels like it's a crush title time. Like I don't know,
it
like it just has
feels.
the thing. What is that obstacle, do you feel like, that next obstacle in your way to get to that title shot?
Yeah, I feel like it is the era of crush. I have to agree with that. Totally unbiased. Uh, I just feel like maybe what's getting in my way, maybe what was getting in my way is that I was being too nice. So focusing on friendships over my game plan. So right now, I've been focusing more on my game plan. I came back and, wrestled ice cold. And tried some new angles in the ring and a little bit of a extra confidence in the ring because, at first I let those two losses I took after my winning streak really kind of get me down or get in my head, get frustrated, which will never help you. That will be a block too. So I did some different training to get ready for this, took a little bit of time off and not time off. I never take time off. Time out of wrestling on TV. It took a few weeks to just really train and focus on myself and get my mind right. So now I think the only thing standing in my way is time. It's David giving me another chance at the title. That's it. I have my focus back. I have my game plan. I'm not here to play nice. I'm not here to play at all. A lot of times people say like, "Oh, Kandi Krush, like the game," and I say wrong because I don't play games. You don't play boxing. You don't play wrestling, and I never play when I get in the ring. It's go time every time, and I'm just going to continue to show that more and more, time and time again. And fall down 7 times, stand up 8. I'll show you what I am great, and that's it.
Boy, there's so many shirts that need to be made just from this interview alone. The
Go.
I know I gotta let you go soon, so I immensely appreciate the time. Well, actually three quick ones, but one I'll put two in the one. It's been really cool to see. Online is still a fun place. You got to avoid some pitfalls there, but it's still a fun place sometimes. And one of the cool things was seeing people create you in other video games. That's got to be a pretty awesome thing. And then also we've started seeing, I mean, especially a look behind me, the Venn diagram of things of, geek culture and pop culture just uniting with wrestling. It
I love
feels like
that.
a great marriage, right? So action figures are always the thing that feel like the WoW roster was made for, with just the characters and like everything that's so kind of bigger than life.
Mhm.
What would be a cooler thing for you to see yourself in a video game first, where it's like a WoW video game, or see your action figure, like a WoW action figure line?
Uh, well, my mom would love an action figure because she doesn't play video games. So I want both. But
Obviously.
I want it all. But I feel like the video game would be my first pick because then one of the things is like I always carry the fans with me into the ring, right? I want them to be a part of my journey. And in this way, it's like they're able to really step into my shoes and see how it feels and be in the crush corner. And I think that is like really cool that they get to participate in all the
Right.
action because they are really a part of it. So I think that's what the fans deserve first is the video game so that they can have fun being in the ring, being in the crush corner and then the action figure, but all of it, all the merch, all the things.
Yeah, they can have you just decimating fools in the virtual ring as well. I
Well,
think
yeah,
I think it's a match made in heaven, right?
art imitates reality and vice versa.
Last one. We have so many iconic wrestling entrances over time, and they can be so wildly different. Do you have an all-time favorite?
All-time favorite wrestling entrance?
Yeah.
Uh, honestly, I've never thought about that. I do get hyped over the entrances because, like in the boxing world too, like Mike Tyson, for example, he
Yeah.
when he enters, he locks in on his prey. He literally has the eye of the tiger and he never unlocks until it's go time for him. So he's an animal in every sense. Somebody on our roster who has that is the beast. So I
Oh
have to
yeah.
say, like, I do get goosebumps when she walks out. Um, it would be cool one day if Mike Tyson walks out with me. That's one of my
That would
dreams.
be dope.
He's my favorite fighter of all time. But I do think the Beast, I get goosebumps when she walks out. The whole crowd is just like, she like just sucks the air out of the auditorium. And then when she gets over that top rope and lands and you can just feel her power, one day I'm gonna go toe to toe with her, and I'm not gonna give her an easy time, regardless of her size, stature, power, anything. She is the biggest and the baddest, but I bring something totally different to the ring. And so, her entrance, I would say, is my favorite on WoW.
Oh man. Oh, well, I can't wait to see that match happen too. So we got a couple things check off the list 2024. All the best success on everything on WoW and just, you personally and can't wait to see what's next for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. And of course, you can check out all of the coverage on WoW right here on comicbook.com. Matt Aguilar here with comicbook.com. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking to WoW Women of Wrestling star Genesis. How are you?
Hi, Matt. Good to talk to you. I am doing very well. Very excited for everything that's going on with WoW right now.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about. You've been so active and such a force in the ring, but you're also making waves within the group, and we've got so much. You're one step closer to title goal. We got a lot to talk about, but
Yes.
just kind of stepping back a little bit. You come from a martial arts background and a weapons background, but what
hmm
initially drew you to wrestling?
For me, I like to say I'm a late bloomer to wrestling. I wasn't someone who grew up with it or had family members watching it. I was definitely a lover of action movies and just being with people who wielded swords and nunchucks, and that was just totally my jam. So that's why growing up, I just practiced myself learning these things. And then wrestling came about when I moved to the US already and just a tryout came along that, and I'd heard about wrestling by that point, obviously. Like I had a lot of friends who watched it, got me into it. I was like, this is, I don't know what to think about it. It's such a unique art,
Yeah.
entertainment, fighting form. But I was like, you know what? Let's see if I can do it. So I tried out with WoW, got it, and then through training, learned how ridiculous it is.
Yes. It's such a man describing wrestling to anyone that like hasn't like watched it or like, kind of come at it from after they've seen it. If you just describe it on paper, like what the hell are you talking about? But man, it's a
Exactly.
such an
That was me
amazing
trying to
thing.
tell my family what it is. And that, they're from a small town in Australia, like, what? But I love it now. And it's just like my ultimate goal to be the best I can in WoW and, hold a title very soon, we hope.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you mentioned, your family and obviously they're, for me as well, like there's such a big part of my career, even when, it's just inspiring certain things and conversations along the way, all those things that were planted, so long ago in me and my personality, like finally, come around, years later. And for, Women's History Month, I have the pleasure of having an amazing wife and little munchkin that remind me every day of how much my life has changed because of them and always growing to appreciate them more. For you, is there someone that has had, an impact on your life, your career that you'd love to kind of highlight?
Hmm. Well, in my wrestling back for my wrestling story anyway, I've been exiled, and this is true coming from a small town, you know, um, making moves on my own, moving from Australia to the US. So I have felt the exile life. But I will say that I am very grateful for my tag team partner, Exodus, who I met through WoW. And I couldn't imagine growing through this show. And I say growing, going and growing through it without her because uh, there was a lot of ups and downs, and I wouldn't have got as far as I did without Exodus. So, I'm grateful for my tag team Exile. Obviously, now I've got Ice Cold as well, and just having these women in my tag team. We are the outcasts of WoW. We are the overlooked ones. I will definitely say that. But being overlooked in a team with a group of women that have your back, I mean, we're pretty lucky to have that. So I'm grateful for my tag team for sure.
Right. And it's finding family wherever, right? Family doesn't take one form and that's part of what makes it so special. And you mentioned
hmm
you and Exodus have been, together for, a while now. And adding Ice Cold, I feel like definitely number one allowed you guys to even move into more areas within WoW. And obviously the trios tournament is a huge part of that. And you really stepped kind of moving into a leadership role within the group and really started to kind of take it upon yourself of like, I'm going to be the one to help us move into that next tier. What was the thing that the switch that flipped per se that really kind of moved you in like, I need to do this now?
Hmm. It's hard to think of a specific moment where that sort of like switch flipped for me, wanting to like step up and push us further along. And what I like to say is this is very much tough love. I've been with Exile. Exile is my home, but we're nothing if we don't get recognized in the show. There's we need to we need these titles. Like I need to solidify our position in WoW. And so I think just we'd been losing quite a bit at the time and just things weren't working out. Our dynamics as a tag team weren't doing very well. So I think I just decided, especially when this trios tournament came along, this is it. We were, I think, one of the only trios teams in WoW. Everyone else is just tags. Everyone had to find a third. We are the trio. So I think from that point on, I was like, guys, whether you like it or not, we're going to win this. And if I have to be that person who steps up, who takes on the leadership role, I will, because this is our moment. We've got to claim it.
And it's worked.
I
Like
mean, it has. So far, so good.
yeah, it's one of those things, right? You got to back up the talk, and it's
Hmm.
working out. And you're right. You're one of what's always one of those things about, the tag team scene is that you can tell when a tag team or a set of trios, you can tell when something is thrown together and when
Hmm.
it's an actual team. We've figured out chemistry. We know how to work together. There is a difference, and there's a clear difference in the ring when you see those against each other and side by side. So for you
Hmm.
guys, I can see how like this owning those titles would really be like the cement of like, no, no, we are the not even just the current title holders, we are the trios champions. Do you feel like it would be that kind of solidifying for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I've been calling David out for so long now to give me a title shot, give us I'll take the tag team belts, like give us the opportunity. But that never happened. So then when this trios tournament came along for a trios event, like this is for us. This is the one we need to win. We need to prove, we need to show that for all these years weren't for nothing. We didn't work, hurt ourselves, break our backs, do all this stuff for nothing. And yeah, I really feel like getting this trios tournament win will be just as good as being a title holder. I'll take it.
Well, and you've also look, while you are part of, a long-standing tag team, you've also impressed on the singles side as well. And I
Mhm.
know you don't, currently hold the title, but you've been like right there in the mix. Does this, you guys win these titles? Does that become like your sole focus, or do you still want to kind of grow the singles competition side? Do you want to hold a singles title? How does that affect that for you?
That's a good one. You know, I it's always been my goal to be the tag team champion. So that's why it's always been so ingrained in my head that that's what I want and that's what I'm going for and that's what I'm going to keep calling out for WoW to give me the shot, give our team the shot. But now that I've sort of had to step up and lead the team to get this far, and I've even done that through singles matches, I found that I can carry my own either way. So I'm good in my team, but I'm also good rolling along. I just had a win against Kandi Krush, and that was and Jesse Jones, that was the biggest of my WoW career for sure. So the fact that I've proved to myself that I can do that, I can take on these singles competitors and win, it kind of interests me, not gonna lie.
Well, and you said you were, a huge, action movies is kind of an action franchise and that kind of thing has always been something you've loved. Do you have a favorite, action movie that is one of your go-tos? There's
Oh,
we have these fights in our comic book Slack, constantly.
yeah.
Do you have one?
Oh man, say my favorite. I get scared with these conversations because then that's when the hate rolls in. I'm already the most hated tag team in WoW, but just to like put that on top, what's my favorite action series? Hmm. I'm a big Rush Hour fan. I just love Jackie Chan. He is like my idol and in life. So I would say that. I always loved Tomb Raider. I love playing the game, and I loved,
Yes.
obviously the movies growing up, watching Angelina Jolie just kill it out there. That was a big inspo for me. Um, yeah, those are some of my faves.
Oh man, okay, so both fantastic. I'm a huge Tomb Raider fan. I
Oh,
just
cool.
adore that. I adore that franchise. It doesn't matter what it's movie, game, show.
Yeah,
I know there's an
it's the
anime
best.
coming. I'm hyped
There's
for
an
that.
anime of Tomb Raider? Get out
There's
of
an
here.
anime movie like coming and I am very excited for
Nice.
that.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So I'm
Glad you
super
told me.
I'm super hyped. And if hey, you know what? There's always rumors of another Rush Hour. I feel the fans will never let that series go. So, if
I've
Rush
heard
Hour
it so
4,
many years. If the Rush Hour 4 comes, oh, Jackie needs to do it. They need to get them on.
and then, I don't know. I mean, you know how to hold a weapon, you know how to do some stuff. I mean, we could get a little Genesis cameo in that. I think that would be dope.
Oh, hell yeah. If someone calls Jackie and says, we've got this wrestler who can wield nunchucks like no other, I'll be there in 2 seconds. Trust me.
Boom. I think it's done. My family will not let me hold the weapons. I had a sword
Uh-huh.
at one point that I was very proud of that someone gave to me. For good reason. They're not wrong. I
Uh-huh.
am one who will self-inflicted injury. Like I'm constant. That is me to a T. So I don't even blame them, but I am sad every so often because I'm like, man, I wish I had my sword. No
Oh.
one
Well,
lets
you
me
got to
have
start
stuff.
with training stuff, Like get a soft
Very
pair of
true.
nunchucks before you progress. But
If you
I
see me
trust your
training on
family.
like Instagram, yeah, it's good. But if you see me training like on Instagram, just know that you inspired it. Just know that I
Okay.
I did that because of this conversation.
Good. I'm glad.
One of the things about wrestling is it's so like we were talking about, it's such a unique thing, and all of that, is you can boil that down to a wrestling entrance. There is nothing like a wrestling entrance from the pyro, the smoke, the pose, all of that stuff. Do you have a all-time favorite wrestling entrance?
Mm. I think my wrestling entrance is definitely my favorite. I
Pretty
mean, to
good.
be honest, when we brought Ice Cold on our first entrance, where she had these sort of snowflakes, not snowflakes, but jets that came out, I just thought we had the best entrance in WoW for sure. Because Exodus came in with her staff, I came in with the nunchucks, and then she sealed the deal with that. I thought we had the best entrance. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it straight.
Boom. No, I think I number one, love the honesty. And two, I just think I don't know what it is. It's probably because of my love of like Shiva from the Final Fantasy games and stuff. Like there's something about ice that I think is so cool and brings
Of
so much
course.
to that. And I thought, yeah, your entrance was already cool. Because you actually show off the like ability to wield weapons and to really like present this force of nature. But then I thought Ice Cold's just those little accentuations I thought just made it. I think that
Yeah.
just makes it the ultimate thing.
It pulls it
And
all together. I have to say, definitely brought it.
I will say I think that's it'll be a quite a moment when we'll have kind of the details and dates for the finals of the trios tournament, hopefully soon. But when that moment comes and you're holding those titles, so we're just going to put it out into the universe. Like you're holding those
Mhm.
titles at the end of the day. What will that moment mean for you, just as, someone who, really took on a new challenge to come into this world in the first place? You were just willing to give something a shot. And for that to lead to holding a championship. That's got to
Mm.
be, something that's not something that everyone gets to experience. What will that mean to you in that moment?
Ah, that'll mean everything to me if we are holding that trio tournament cup at the end of the day. I mean, it'll just show that it was all for something. I've been with WoW for, over 6 years, trained from the beginning. Yeah, training with them, performing, like doing shows, going through the ride of the ups and downs because it's all part of it. And if we are holding, a a solid trophy at the end of it. It'll just be an amazing, like, self-validating, not just for me, but for our team, that for everything we went through, it was worth it. We've proved ourselves and we're here. So, you know, it will be, as I just said, it'll mean everything to us.
Well, I cannot wait to see that moment happen. I am so excited for you. I wish you all the best success. Can't wait to see WoW has been killing it over the past few years, and can't wait to see what's next throughout this year as well. And thank you so much for jumping in and talking with me for a little bit.
Thanks, Matt. Really appreciate it. I'm glad. I hope your team Exile. So I know not
Yes.
everyone is because they think we're bad, but we're the ones who do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah, and bad is cool, man. Bad is
Gets you
cool. I'm
there.
all about it. And of course, you can check out all of our coverage for WoW right here on comicbook.com. Till next time.